All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Rooting for Laundry. Today is Monday, August 24th. I'm your host, Johnny McDonald. Thank you for joining us. You can follow us at Root for Laundry on IG and Twitter, as it says on the ticker right here. So thank you again. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel for all the previous episodes, as well as our Facebook page. Thank you for joining us. This is episode 19. Today, we will be covering the Philadelphia 76ers, a basketball franchise that was founded in 1946 in Syracuse, New York, as the Syracuse Nationals, then relocated to Philly and became the 76ers in 1963. 1 year after, then the Philadelphia Warriors relocated to Northern California, who we currently now know as the Golden State Warriors. The 76ers have had iconic players throughout their history, such as Wilt Chamberlain, Dr. J, Julius Erving, who along with Moses Malone helped Philly win their last NBA Finals back in 1983, as well as Charles Barkley, who was after the 1983 season. Charles Barkley was the franchise of the team. Today, we have two Sixers fans joining me on today's show. Our first guest is a writer for Adult Swim and is a comedian that has the #1 album on iTunes called Funny-matic. Give it up for Tom Cassidy. What's up, Tom? How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. Next guest is another comic who performs all across the country and has a show called Smoke Break Comedy. You can catch it on Zoom or wherever. Give it up for Courtney Reynolds. Hey, what's up, Courtney? How you doing, man? Thank you for joining us, man. Yeah. So first of all, I'm sorry about last night. Sucks, that. But I know being a Sixers fan, it's tough for you guys, right?
Yeah. I tweeted yesterday. Courtney, do you have like they give me a stomach ache, and it's a specific kind of stomach ache.
It's like right below the heart.
Yeah, kind of.
Right.
It's like I feel it. It's
Wow.
a frustrating team to have to love.
Yeah. Well, at least you're not Knicks fans. I think it's worse.
I'd rather be a Knicks fan right now. Y'all know exactly where y'all know.
Which is always at the bottom of the barrel. So
there's no
Hurting right now. You don't need
that. I don't know.
All right, Courtney. Yeah, I'll start with you. How did you become a Sixers fan?
I became a Sixers fan probably out of spite. My father is a Knicks fan.
A spite team? That's hilarious.
My dad is a Knicks fan, and I don't know. I was like a little anxious, a little rambunctious kid that liked fucking with him. Like I was a Jets fan for a while for no ass reason, just because he likes the Giants. Like,
oh wow.
But they eventually grew on me when I moved out to the Poconos, and
okay.
I don't know, Allen Iverson, man, like
absolutely, man.
I think that
you can't root against AI.
But it just went there,
yeah. So, Tom, how did you become a Sixers fan?
I mean, I'm from Philadelphia, so I feel like a lot of sports teams, obviously Philadelphia is very serious about their sports.
Absolutely.
I feel like sometimes football, there's like those corny people who like the Cowboys in Philadelphia.
Yeah, Cowboys are like America's team, so you get a sprinkle of Cowboy fans every
day. Like specific type of person, but I do feel like generally in Philadelphia, for me growing up, most people were Sixers fans, and it was definitely Iverson all day. I mean, Iverson
absolutely
drafted in 96.
I
was 11.
#1 pick overall. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, he was the most exciting player to watch, especially even I know we're gonna get into the 2001 season, but those first couple seasons were so exciting because the Sixers sucked for a few years previous to that.
Yeah.
Because there was that season, I can't remember if it was his first year or second year, but when there was the NBA, there was a lockout or something.
Yeah, the lockout was in 99.
99?
Yeah, because that's when the Knicks went to the finals as the 8th seed. So I remember that, and that's the first time Philly went made it to the playoffs in a while. So,
exactly.
Yeah, LJ.
LJ.
Yeah.
And
so
that was a good season.
So Tom, you told me you attended the game, which is like Iverson's rookie year, where he crosses over Jordan. That was March 12th, 1997. That was a big
Yeah.
deal. So you were at that game?
Yeah, man. I went with my dad. We scalped tickets. Any Sixers game I went to as a kid, I scalped. Like,
Oh, nice.
I feel like we probably because that was obviously a fucking insane ticket to get. So
Yeah.
like,
Oh yeah, Michael Jordan. Yeah, the championship years. Yeah, that's an impossible ticket to get.
yeah. So we went a little bit late. Like we got there when the game was already going on, and there's still a few tickets left. So like my dad, haggled with scalpers. And
Your dad sound like a gypsy. Your dad is like, I'll give you these beans.
He
was kind of like a gypsy. There was like stuff we went to because my dad worked down there. My dad worked at like the Acme warehouse where like all the food went from Acme and stuff.
Oh,
So
okay.
that was like right down the street from the stadium. So I remember the scalper. It was this dude named, his nickname was Fats, and he was like morbidly obese, and he would literally like hide his tickets like under his stomach.
Under the folds of his stomach.
Yeah. So I mean, that's definitely the best sporting event I've ever been to.
Nice.
And there was Bulls fans in the audience.
Absolutely, yeah. Bulls fans were everywhere. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, Jordan was loved. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's like I just remember one really loud Bulls fan the whole time, and then when Iverson crossed him over, just everybody shitting on that guy and like exploded. And yeah, man, that was awesome. Definitely my favorite.
Yeah, Courtney, do you remember watching that game, or you were that was a little before your time?
I think I was still a baby. I mean, that was what, 96,
97. Yeah, 97.
97?
That was the rookie year.
I wasn't even a Sixers fan yet. I was still
AI still didn't. He didn't have the cornrows yet. He still had he had a little beady fro.
I was a Jordan fan then. I was a
oh, okay. So you're like, all right, whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. I picked the team everybody liked. I was like 6, but by the time I got a chance to make a decision, it was definitely Philly, man.
Nice, man. Yeah, so I remember, that rookie season was like, Iverson. And that team was because they had Stackhouse and Derek Coleman. So I thought that team would be pretty good. But, it ended up like they imploded. I heard Stackhouse and Iverson didn't get along, really.
How old was Derek Coleman at that point, though? Wasn't Derek Coleman?
No, he was coming off. He was with the Nets. He was coming, I think it was like his 6th season. And he bitched and moaned about being in Jersey and ended up finagling his way to Philly. But he would,
there was something going on with that guy at that time. Like he wasn't like ready to really ball. I remember feeling like he was fat. Like you get a little better, get you in better shape, bro. And I was 7, so I was a very pretty girl.
So
it's that fat.
A lot of those.
Yeah.
I also had because I liked Stackhouse a lot back then too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I met
Stackhouse in the Village.
I met Stackhouse too at 76ers camp when I was like 12.
Oh, nice.
I'm jealous of this now.
You met Stackhouse. I assume you met Stackhouse. I guess when he played for the Nets, right? There's probably like a couple probably like 5.
He was coaching. He was coaching at this point.
Oh, he was assistant coach. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's assistant somewhere.
B-League teame.
Okay.
Like, he's just walking around being all 6'4" and shit, and I'm just like, hey man. And I half followed him down the block trying to start a conversation, and he wasn't really with it.
Yeah, he's like, all right.
Wow. I had his because like the year that the questions came out, Iverson's first sneaker. I went with Stackhouse's sneaker. I think it was like the Stack 50s or some shit. I forget what they were called, but they were pretty cool sneakers.
Were they Nikes, or they were?
Nah, dude. I think they were like Fila's.
Oh Jesus! Wow. I guess Stackhouse at the time. I know his rookie season, like, because he was like, dunking and shit like that. Like, so he's probably like people probably came up for a contract for his shoe. He's like, oh, I'll go with Fila.
People was calling him like the next Jordan. They was comparing him.
Little people. Yeah, people get comparisons to Jordan when they do like crazy dunks. Yeah,
yeah.
Like Vince Carter got a lot of them. Harold Miner's another one. Ugh.
Yeah, you had to be a 6'4", 6'6" guard, and they were like Jordan.
Yeah. Yep. So the following season after that rookie season, Larry Brown comes along. He improves the team. Like they get rid of Stack in DC, and then they make the playoffs in '99, like you said before, and 2000, and they lose. They go to the second round both times and lose the Pacers. So that was the preset for the amazing 2000-2001 season, which everybody loves. That's when Iverson comes out, and like that's when he's better than, best season you could ever have. And he has the cornrows. The Sixers got those new black uniforms, which were pretty dope.
Yeah.
And and then like he basically takes the league by storm. At the time, he came from like '96, that draft class with Marbury, Ray Allen. That's a deep draft class. Wanted Nash, Kobe,
and like, they were all good at the time. Like it wasn't like they were waiting a while to get good.
Antoine Walker was there. Yeah.
But they were all
good. They eventually became, they probably have like a good maybe 7-8 Hall of Famers in that draft class alone. It's so many good players.
What draft class better than that?
I would say that the Jordan draft class of '84.
Okay.
I don't agree.
I'm not saying it's better, but it's in part because you had Jordan, Hakeem, Barkley. I think Stockton's in that one too. There's a lot of good players in that one.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're gonna be freaked out by one of these more recent drafts. Like we're gonna look back and be like, damn, like like Jason College is a Hall of Famer. I had no idea.
Yeah. 2003 draft is good. LeBron, Melo, Wade.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Bosh. Yeah, there's a lot of great guys in that one too.
That's the year I graduated high school too. So
okay. Yeah. So that's a major draft class. But 2001, Allen Iverson comes into his own. He wins the All-Star Game MVP in DC, which is a phenomenal game. They were down. East was down by 20-something points.
Mm-hmm.
And him and I remember him and Marbury take over that game and just ice it for the East, which is one of the better All-Star games we had in a while. So, that's definitely one of the memorable ones. So Allen Iverson,
was that Vince Carter dunk contest year too, or was that the year before?
The year before, 2000, because the All-Star game was at it was in Golden State, and that's when he puts their hand in the rim. Yeah, that was Vince Carter's coming out party to me. But 2001, it was like when Marbury, Iverson, the DC that was in DC, and they basically win that game for the East.
That probably was one of the games that really brought me full on to the Sixers, because it was like, man, it was like so much passion watching the AI play, and at Steph too. Like it was an All-Star game, but these guys was playing
they were balling. Yeah, they played. It wasn't it wasn't just alley oops and half court shots. They weren't doing none of that. You know what I'm saying? They were killing it. Yep. So go ahead, Tom.
That year I went to Sixers camp, and I'm sorry, I think it was like a year previous to that. But Iverson was supposed to be there, and it was it was just like a big part of the camp, obviously, that Iverson was going to come and talk to us. And the week of Sixers camp, he got arrested for weed.
Oh damn!
And so he didn't come.
He's like, oh well, yeah. So that had to be disappointing.
Yeah, that was like 99 actually. I'm sorry, I'm going back.
99. Yeah, but still, like Iverson was such a big deal, man. Yeah, to meet Iverson, that's definitely 1 in a million chance, man. That would have been cool. Yeah. So 2001, he wins the MVP, has like the greatest year, and then they got Mutombo mid-season, and he wins the Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
And then Aaron McKee. Eric Snow.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah, no, of course.
I'm looking at Tom reminiscing about like pleasant memories, and it is so sad. It's like over these last few days, I've punched so many soft objects. It's getting scary. I'm like, it's maddening to sit here and be like, man, like we had Allen Iverson, and they ain't give him no help. They ain't give him no help. It's like Aaron McKee, Eric Snow, Theo Ratliff, some Tyrone Hill. Like,
but they have like guys win awards, and Iverson. I mean, yeah, he was the only score. The thing is, like after Iverson, everybody like Iverson averaged almost 30, and then everybody else would average like almost 10. It was very hard to score.
I'll push
it's
back.
Like we have the same team.
Like Aaron McKee, I thought was pretty good, man. He was from
I mean, at the time, he's 6 man. I mean, you could only ask for so much for him, you know.
And Eric Snow was an easy person to hate on, but he kind of complimented Iverson well.
He was a perfect Derek Snow or Derek Fisher type point guard, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
It's like how much weight was on AI because
offensively,
6 points.
Yeah,
and, I mean defensively he had plenty of help because you could like hide, basically play strong safety, but like he had no help on the offensive end. Like if he threw the ball into the Dikembe Mutombo, it's like now what?
And Hill wasn't a scorer. Jermaine Jones, not scorers. Like, George Lynch,
every time he passes the ball, he's like thinking, "How do I get the ball back?"
That's what he's doing. Bro. So, and he's running around recklessly, trying to just like set up screens and stuff just to get open.
He was drinking to cope.
What's that at the time?
No, I was going to say it was probably jarring to like just look at Tyrone Hill.
He's sprinting every time he's supposed to pass. He's like,
I'll never forget a joke I heard on Comic View. Rob Stapleton said, "Oh, Philly is having an awesome year. Iverson wins the MVP. Aaron McKee wins a 6 man. Larry Brown wins the head coach. And Tyrone Hill wins the award for ugliest player in the game." No, that was a Rob
like
Stapleton.
Somebody's drone. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's just a village, yeah. I don't know if you remember that Tyrone Hill had that incident, I think with Charles Oakley. He owed him money or something.
I think
yeah, that was in Oakley. Yeah, Oakley's savage, man. He doesn't give a shit. That was But
run was very exciting. I mean, like with the Raptors, I mean, payback's a bitch.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the first round they lose. I mean, they beat the Pacers. They avenged the Pacers from previous years in the first round in 5. 3-1 in the best of 5. Then it would play Toronto in the semifinals and Milwaukee in the conference finals and go to 7 games. So it had to be a lot of wear and tear for Iverson and the whole team to play 2 consecutive 7-game playoff series to get to the finals.
Oh, they were exhausted. And the Lakers, I think they just swept everybody.
The Lakers road was easy. They had a lot of rest where like that whole Sixer team had to like, they were going through war all 7 games. Do y'all
remember that first game? Do y'all remember that game 1 of that final series?
Oh yeah, I'm about to get to that now. Yeah.
I remember actually sitting and watching it.
Yeah.
I know when the pandemic first started and we were just on lockdown like hard and all the sports shut down, I just watched that game to make me feel good.
Yeah, dude.
Because if anything, that's the only game you have a good memory about.
I don't get emotional about a lot of shit, but I feel the goosebumps when I'm watching that fourth quarter. Like some shit's about to happen. Like they're not gonna go 16-0. Whatever happens.
Yeah. It also just shows how big of losers we are. That like our fondest memory is winning 1 game.
1 game, yeah.
I was thinking about that with Kobe, just like Kobe in general. Like Kobe specifically said he didn't want to play in Philly, and that made Philadelphia hate him for so long.
Yep.
But I think it's just because like I'm a Sixers fan, but I think Kobe knew that we were just losers.
Yeah. And being from there too, it probably didn't help either.
I think Kobe just knew he was better than us.
Yeah.
People hate him.
He's like, I don't deserve me.
Yeah. Yeah, that game 1's phenomenal because that's when Iverson makes that he clutch final seconds. Iverson does the crosses Tyronn Lue out of his shoes, hits the jumper, makes him fall, and literally steps over his dead carcass. and then the whole and then at the end of the game, Kobe and AI are going back and forth, talking to each other. So that game one's legendary for at least for Sixers fans. Like that's the only good memory you have after.
Yeah, I mean, that Raptors series too. Like, I remember my family had like a party in that last game, and like I had to go upstairs and just watch it by myself because I like that stomach feeling. That's still.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, when Vince Carter missed that shot, that was fucking.
Yeah.
That was so cool. And then,
That
but I mean, it's
corner
so
three.
Yeah.
18 years later,
last year.
shot.
Other corner.
Yeah.
72 bounces. You know what?
Yeah.
So that's crazy. I used to think like last year, I thought that was going to be the lowest point of my Sixers fandom, watching that ball bounce a bunch of times. But I feel like this year has been more disappointing than that.
I don't think so. I think they at least let us off the hook this year. There's no
get them out of there early.
Like
I can see that.
Last year was an excruciating, heartbreaking, worst possible scenario of like what could happen. Yeah. And this one was just like they didn't even give you a chance to even care.
Yeah.
This year
I didn't really care the whole season. I didn't believe in this roster from last summer. I was just like, this doesn't make sense.
I got fooled. Yeah,
especially like 2020, all the distractions we had.
I got fooled. Yeah, I actually thought this team was pretty good. The problem is too, I legitimately don't think they're as bad as they played in this series. I think part of it is that like a lot of them are very young. Like, you know, second year. Thibault is very young. Like, I mean, I think there are a few
Thibault,
like
there's a future in that team.
Burks didn't play good. Like, I mean, like none of them really did. But I mean, I think they're all kind of solid, you know, younger players. But I mean, you know, Tobias played like shit. Warford stinks. I mean, it's crazy to think. It's just crazy to think last year how good that team was, and how they just, you know, they completely bungled it. I mean,
I feel like they went to go build. They went to go build for Ben. You know what I mean? Because I feel like the players that they kept, like Tobias, on paper, him and Tobias play really well together for whatever reason. But they got rid of Jimmy, who was playing well with both Ben and Embiid, and then paid $50 million for Horford and Tobias Harris, and let Jimmy walk.
33-year-old Al Horford.
Oh yeah, he's doing bad.
But
he's gonna stop Giannis. I'm like, how?
I mean, also, I don't think so too. Like, I think they, on paper and in reality, Embiid loved JJ Redick. He loved Jimmy Butler. Right. Like, if there's a world where there is a world where you could have kept Redick and Butler and got rid of Tobias and never pick up Horford, we're a way better team.
Yeah.
And he has faced another big. Because I think that was their concern. Like, we got to have safety behind Embiid. But I'm like, all right, well, you didn't really help because you got Al Horford, Mike Scott, and Kyle Quinn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they could have gotten Whiteside. You know what I mean? They could have gotten Whiteside to go back him up.
I'm a backtrack. We're gonna get to all that stuff a little later, but yeah, I'm a backtrack to end of. I let you know. I don't blame you for it. That's fine. But I just want to talk about.
Can we just?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're gonna.
We have 18 more years of being a loser.
Yes, yeah. But it goes quick. I just want one more thing. 2001, like when they lost to the Lakers, one memorable moment. Is Game 4 when the halftime show of Destiny's Child and the Philly fans just booed the shit out of Destiny's Child. If you remember that one, that's
that's great. You're reminding me of it. That's very funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious, and they can't. I don't know what is up with Philly and just booing for no reason. I don't know.
Because fuck you.
Yeah, basically.
No, I mean it's a city full of mentally ill people.
Because every sport, it seems like everybody, they're just terrible people.
There's different fans for different teams too. Like, actually, Sixers fans, I would say, are the most like normal people. Like Eagles fans are meant like really insane. Phillies fans are
Like they
like
play without helmets.
Phillies fans are drunk like morons. Flyers fans are racist, and like Sixers fans are like Sixers are the most like normal people, and like even that they still boo Destiny's Child.
Yeah, that was savage.
They wanted Beyonce to go solo. They just saw it.
Yeah,
Like,
Beyonce was like, I don't need this. I don't need to perform at halftime at NBA games. Screw this. I'm out of here.
So what you're saying is Philly gave us Beyonce, so you're welcome.
Sacrifice the finals to give us Beyonce. That's pretty dope.
Back then, Iverson used to go to a TGI Fridays on City Line Avenue.
Yeah.
That was his spot, and I used to go there with my friend, and I would say like Allen, party of like 4, because they would have to like announce it like Allen, party of 4, and everybody would turn.
That's hilarious. Everybody.
He like ran tabs up of like 20 grand at that TGI Fridays, which I don't even know how to do. But
out of all places,
exactly.
Not it used to be
a lot of 2 for 10s. Wow. Yeah. So after that 2001 season, like it all goes downhill from there. 2002, they win 13 games less, and then Larry Brown and AI are bumping heads all the time, and it just wasn't getting better. Even though it's another thing. 2002, in Philly, they had the All-Star game in Philly, and then Kobe wins the MVP. And another thing, they just booed the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, again, it's kind of like a playful ignorance. Like sometimes I feel like Philly doesn't necessarily mean the boo. It's just like, it would be funny. Fuck this guy.
No,
that's
I feel
like that. No,
I don't think it's playful at all. I think they really meant it. I don't think Kobe is finally appreciated in Philadelphia now that he died, but he was hated, and it's just because he rejected us and because he was on the team that beat us in the championship.
Yeah.
Everybody respected him and knew he was great, obviously, but like Kobe never got his flowers from Philadelphia until he died.
Definitely, yeah.
Not at all.
And I get it. But yeah, man. Like I was in Philly the day Kobe died, and like that was crazy, man. Like
that stopped the world. Yeah.
I went to a movie theater, and like people were like beside themselves at that.
You'll never forget where you were when Kobe died.
Yeah, man. In Philly. God damn.
It's weird, isn't it?
It's all gone downhill after that.
Yeah, it has been.
Yeah.
It definitely went downhill after that. And it's funny, the end of that 2002 season, they Sixers they lose in first round and best of 5. And then the press conference, the infamous practice press conference happens. After that, like where he says like practice 22 times.
Yeah.
We talking about practice.
Which I think you guys know was completely blown out of proportion. And he was also, his friend just died.
Yeah, that's it.
About how he was dealing with that, and then you're talking to me about practice when I'm the best player in the NBA. I sacrifice my fucking body every game.
Yep.
That's what it was about. It wasn't like shitting on practice, but I mean that's how it was implied.
I don't think anybody outside of Philly even bought into the fact that he was on some shit. You know what I mean? Like we were all like, yeah, we get it. Like a Philly fan even was just like, yeah, I get what he's saying. He busts his ass for us. We talking about his practice.
Yeah, all by himself. Yeah,
it's an easy soundbite to make him look like a monster, especially because like he was out there in his chains, his big clothes. Fuck the
I was talking about how like trend setting he was too with the cornrows, baggy jeans. Still he wears like even in his Hall of Fame speech, he's wearing baggy jeans and a FUBU shirt at a do-rag. To the Hall of Fame speech. So he's just like,
I don't want to completely defend it either because, I mean, that's the difference between him and Kobe, too. Of like, regardless of if Kobe's friend died or anything like that, he wouldn't say that. And that's the difference. Like, I mean, Iverson just wrote that letter
Kobe's
today
media
to
trained.
Kobe, and he's told that story a few times of when him and Kobe were hanging out their first year in the league, and they were in LA, and Iverson was like, "I'm gonna go to the club," and Kobe was like, "I'm gonna go to the gym and practice." So, like, I mean, Iverson definitely was such a great player, but he's the greatest. He's the greatest player in NBA history to not get a ring.
Yeah, he's up there with Barkley and like that's definitely true. Yeah, Ewing's another one. But Iverson, I could put him, and also the shortest player to accomplish a lot of things. He's not even like he's listed as 6 foot, but he's not,
Yeah.
Definitely what is it like?
What's
I would
crazy
say
is he was
5'10".
like, he's definitely my size. And that's another dope thing. Like, he's 5'10", 5'11", 170 pounds maybe. And like he's balling like he's 6'5". Like,
yeah, and not just taking jumpers, driving to the hole. Yeah,
yeah,
getting a triple double.
Those first few years, he was dunking too.
Yeah, I remember the first year. Yeah, dunk.
Vertical.
Yep.
People don't
in
like
the
to
game.
mention it. 48-inch vertical.
Yeah, also played football. Athlete, all around athlete overall. Played football. High school.
That's what the problem was. It was too easy for him. Like throughout his entire life, like he could throw a football with a flick of a wrist. He could run past you with barely any effort. So it's like he was like, why can't I do this shit drunk? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or why can't I just not go to practice and just show up and bust Jerry Stackhouse's ass? You know what I mean? Because he did it every other day.
Yep.
But no fucking chip. Still,
no chip, man.
1983. I was born in 85. Fucked up.
Yeah.
Missed it.
Yep. And they haven't been like around 2003, Larry Brown quit. So talk to me. Were you like, when Larry Brown quit, you were like, that's whatever. I don't know if it's the coach or Iverson. Did you pick a side, or you were like, oh, maybe Larry Brown would have helped him because he ended up winning a ring like a year later with Detroit?
That's the one. That's the part.
Yep. No, I knew that Larry Brown was the best coach we ever had, even as a child.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, again, that's another Iverson being difficult again.
Yeah. I even remember feeling the exact same way. That was the part. That was the light that was like, oh no, we're a bad team. Like, I was new to Sixers fandom, so at that point, I only had a good ride. You know what I mean? There only been good things happening. So then, when that happened, I was just like, oh, they couldn't handle this. Oh, we're a bad franchise. That's my realization. And honestly, since then, we have done no good move that I've agreed with. You know what I mean? Drafts, trades, free agents. Yeah, I think we've done 2 things that I'm like, all right.
Last year, we were like the best team in the NBA.
This season, I was like, all right, the process is over. They've switched gears. They're going for it. I like what's happening. We can make adjustments. We got a great canvas to work with moving forward. And I'm like, great.
Yeah.
And then boom, Elton Brand is just like, I don't know what I'm doing. It's crazy.
Yeah. But I'll put 2004 to 2004 looks good because you got Jim O'Brien's the new head coach. They draft Andre Iguodala with the 9th pick, and then so you got Iguodala with a young Iguodala with Iverson, and he also wins the 2nd All-Star Game MVP in Denver, so he's looking good. And then they get a trade for Chris Webber at the deadline. So how did you feel when Chris Webber came along? It's like you got Webber and AI, that might work out.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's the tale of the Sixers that they always get players when they're like old.
Yeah, a little past their prime. Yeah,
what a 40-year-old Chris Webber for? I think he's doing Achilles too, or was that Elton Brand?
Yeah,
Elton Brand had bad injuries, but Webber, I think, was definitely sloping.
Yeah, and
he was definitely off his hill. So
yeah.
But yeah, I think I was excited when we got Chris Webber, and it did not last very long at all.
Yeah, it was like Chris Webber. It was a time to forget. Yeah, so so that didn't work out because Webber, they went to the playoffs, but they lost the first round to Detroit, and then the following year they failed to make the playoffs in 2006. And then to December of 2006 was basically an end of an era where they traded AI to Denver. So talk about that day. I
And that
know
was
like
crazy.
Iverson. Yeah, go ahead, Courtney.
Like that team before he got traded was not bad. You know what I mean? That had what, Lou Will,
Yeah.
AI, Andre Iguodala. It had a solid squad. Even the fact that Chris Webber was on the team around that time wasn't the worst possible scenario. You know?
Uh-huh.
Or was it? Who did they have? Brand when Iverson was there at all?
No, Brand came later. Brand came
No.
a little
All
bit
right.
later.
So yeah. So Chris Webber was there. They had a decent team. So it again was a fuzzy. It was like a sign that we were a bad franchise because that was just a personnel relationship type shit. Like you couldn't talk to your star player into wanting to stay where he wanted to stay.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, I was sad, but I mean, it's just one of those things of like, he was there for a long time and he never got it done. I mean, you can only, you know, be there for so long until it gets frustrating. And I mean, I understand.
Yeah.
You don't have to go smoke in Denver.
Yeah, he could puff all he wants with Melo. Yeah.
Another really good game I went to was his first game back.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that. Yeah, 2000 when he came back to Philly in 2010. That was that was that was cool for him to come back. So that he played 3 games with Memphis, and then he sat out with Memphis, and then they brought him back.
I might have went to one of those games too. I mean, I went when he came with the Nuggets for the first time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the crowd gave him a standing ovation, right? That had to be a big deal.
And that was a really good game because he played great and we won. So
that's the best when you
got both. Yeah,
really good, and we beat them. So that was a good game too. That was rocking that place.
Yeah. So that was Iverson coming back was like pretty like, you know, it's kind of like, you know, lasted like Kevin Garnett did the same with the Timberwolves. And that was fun to see the guy you see with that team that is known for that team come back to that team and then go out, you know, with everybody for a last hurrah and everybody's happy.
Can I say something though?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
One ugly part of that 10 days that we had Iverson. I think who dropped him? Somebody, he got dropped like twice in 10 games with the Sixers. At that last stint, I want to say it was like some bum too, like Mo Williams type dude, like cross him over in the corner, dropped him, hit a 3.
Oh wow!
And like it happened like several times over the next 10 games, and then he was just like, "All right, I'm gonna leave. I'm
yeah, it's like I don't think I'm looking like a fool out here. I can't do this no more."
It was such a different Allen Iverson. I was just like, "What's happening here? Like, is he trying to play defense, and that's why he's getting dropped?"
I don't know, conditioning or something. But yeah, he definitely those later years weren't what they were.
Yeah. Well, like after
couldn't handle that, man. AI couldn't handle being the worst player or being a shell.
Yeah, absolutely. He knew his time was over. Yeah, he knew his time was over. I mean, he put in what a good 15 plus years in the league. I mean, it's something, and like a Hall of Fame career that, you know, and a trendsetter of the generation. It's like, you know, nobody forget. Iverson's a lot of favorite people's players, you know.
Yeah, he was very exciting to watch, man. He was like poetry on the court, man. No one like handled the ball like him.
And nobody was aggressive like him. It was he was great, man.
Yeah.
So Say that again, Tom?
It felt like that. It felt like we were about to say, "Oh man, resident."
Yeah, that's it. AI is still alive.
He's gonna live forever. Get him.
Yeah. So they didn't have another season. I'll get to 2012 season, which was pretty good. When they go to the second round against Boston, and they take them to 7, and that team had Iguodala, Elton Brand, Drew Holiday, Lou Williams, and Evan Turner. That was a good team. Yeah, who was a second round, the second overall pick. Yeah, and that I'll always remember that game now because that 7-game series is also, if you've seen Uncut Gems, that's the reason why Adam Sandler gets killed off. You know what I'm saying? That's
I
y'all
forgot,
saw.
yeah.
Did I ruin? Wait, hold on. I didn't ruin the movie for you guys. Did I? You guys already saw it, right?
Yeah, man, it's been out long
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah. Especially during the pandemic. So
Yeah, what a
yeah.
man. I remember that series just like it was yesterday, man. I watched that Game 7 in North Wildwood, New Jersey, and was fucking very angry. I thought they were going to win that series. I thought they were going to win this series, but yeah, that was a heartbreaker. But that was a good
Yeah.
season.
I felt
That
we
was a
didn't
great
deserve to be
season.
there that series though.
Yeah, underachievers. Yeah,
Against
overachievers.
Boston?
Yeah.
Because I don't know, were we at 8 seed and we just beat Chicago because Derrick Rose towards ACL or something like that?
Yeah, and
I think that
remember it was
series
also
Derrick Rose
a
tore his-
strike. It
tore
was
up.
a strike shortened season, so it was a lot, not too many games. Kind of like '99,
Right.
where a lot too many games
Yeah,
were being played. So
there was something
another,
funny. Right.
yeah. So that was a fun run,
We
but
didn't
yeah,
deserve to be there, but that's why it was like
yeah,
playing with house money then. It was like,
yep.
whatever, like we're set games every
We
December.
have
Yeah,
nothing to
shit.
lose.
I don't
Yeah,
expect to be this far.
yeah.
And then they
So
Drew Holiday
yeah,
was still there.
yeah. Drew Holiday was nice, man. I liked him in Philly a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after that
Drew was
season,
great,
it was
man. They
yeah.
needed. I was gonna say they needed him when Allen Iverson was still there. Like that's the
Uh
perfect. Like
huh.
that's
That's the
Eric
type of
Snow on
player.
crack. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of just a
6'4",
steroid. Eric
200.
still on steroids. Yep.
Yeah.
Doing everything. Yeah. So the following seasons, it just gets real rocky, and it's just basically all about draft picks now. Like 2013, they draft Michael Carter Williams at 11, who ends up winning the Rookie of the
Fuck.
Year. Yeah.
Shut up.
How about that?
Sorry.
Yeah.
This was the most stressful time period for me of all time. Michael Carter Williams, and I think Giannis was in that draft class, right?
Yeah, he was, I think, 15th. Giannis was,
Giannis
that
was
draft pick.
15th.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
don't think people
I
knew.
remember every year I did. Yeah. Every year before the draft, I would go on Instagram and I would post my draft pick, and I'm so proud. I always have left it up. I had Tony Roten. I wanted Tony Roten and Giannis Antetokounmpo. We got Tony, and we didn't get Giannis.
Nah. Giannis, yeah. And Michael Carter Williams just fell off there. After that rookie season, he got traded to Milwaukee, I think, and just hasn't been this, or Chicago. He got traded to Chicago. It hasn't been the same since.
We had a system that let point guards look like gods. You know what I mean? Like every point guard that came and ran that we were running at that time was literally putting up triple-double numbers. Like Carter Williams went down, Tony Roten was averaging 17, 6, and 6 for like a month.
Yeah,
he's not in the league.
He's looking good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we got Ish Smith paid. Like there was a lot of point guards.
A lot of guys who came here. Yeah, I remember McConnell, another one.
They looked good enough to get a contract somewhere else, and they're not playing where they are because our system just made it look good. So that's what's so frustrating that we can't get that to even work now. But
yeah. Because after the Michael Carter 2014 draft, they picked Embiid, but Embiid, it took a while. That's the trust the process era where we're in now. Just he was just injuries early on, just never played a full season till it took him a while to play a full season. So Embiid at number 3, 2015, Jahlil Okafor at number 3, who ended up and that sucks because that draft too, you had Porzingis, who nobody knew. I did as a Knicks fan. Yeah, I didn't. As a Knicks fan, I didn't know how big. Yeah,
I was like, please don't draft Porzingis at that point. I was like, don't draft him. Don't draft him. Let him go somewhere else. It's another 7-foot European. We don't need it. But
also Sean Bradley.
Well, Sean Bradley. Yeah, Sean Bradley's
any Dark fans didn't want him because they reminded him of Sean Bradley, which we didn't talk about. Sean Bradley.
Yeah. Yeah, that Okafor draft, he never panned out at all. But you had Karl Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell, and Porzingis, who are all all-star players now. You know. Yeah.
Who else was in that draft that we could have gotten? You know what I mean? I don't think.
Well, Okafor was, I think, at the time was predicted number 1. Like during the tournament,
right.
He was high. So like Okafor was predicted number 1, and like people were like, all right, we're gonna tank for Okafor, but out of all of them, he was like, yeah, that
so
he never panned out.
You know, he
So
was burnt out by the time he got to the league. He had spent his whole life being the best basketball player in the country. He's like, I'm
yeah,
tired.
yeah, I'm not good anymore. Just playing in Duke, yeah. So then 2016, you get Ben Simmons at the #1 overall pick, and so I was skeptical about Ben Simmons, but I guess I'll ask you guys, how did you feel with Ben Simmons #1 overall?
I want Brandon Ingram.
He's like a hot chick to me.
Got it. I totally get it.
Like, first of all, because he is super attractive, but it's just like
it's uncomfortable.
he's like he's too much trouble to keep, but I don't want to like lose him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
yeah, 6'9", put him. You're playing at point, but I knew something was wrong because he #1 overall pick. That was fine, but I remember in college he didn't even make in LSU. He didn't even make the tournament. And if you're a #1 pick, at least make the tournament. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, you can't control what happens during the tournament because, like, you know, it's one game. But that told me a lot. If you're like a #1 pick and you haven't even took your team to the tournament, that showed me something, in my opinion.
And I mean, you know, just being out that whole first season.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, even like, I know you don't like skipping ahead, but I mean, I've never seen. I mean, I might have, but not in my remembrance. I've never seen like such a soft like season-ending injury as the one that he got hurt on this season in the bubble. Like, he passed the ball and like moved his leg a little bit, and now he's out forever. He's soft, man. Like,
I mean, they said he cracked his kneecap, dude. Like,
that doesn't sound
like
pretty at all.
line down the center of his kneecap.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did, and I know I'm wrong. But just looking at it visually from how he got hurt, like, he really just passed the ball. Yeah. It wasn't even like a crazy like move or anything. Like, I mean, and now it's like he's out that first year. He gets hurt all the time. I mean, and I still don't want to lose him. And I was good. He's like so fast. No one's faster than him, man.
And the 6'9" point guard. It's crazy. Yeah, another Magic, you know, Magic-like type player. Magic, LeBron, just the intangibles he brings to a team.
But I mean, yeah.
But he's hard to love.
Yeah.
Like, we need that Ferrari at point guard. You know what I mean? Like, I think he'd be better spent playing off the ball, but then you're using that.
Just put him at the front court. Put him in. I mean, basketball's positionless anyway, so it's like, you know, you could put him in any spot in the, you know, and he could still bring up the ball, you know, and just leave him in the front court.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just like
not taking advantage of that mismatch. Yeah.
It's just, I don't understand. Does he have to go to a psychiatrist or something? Like, I don't understand how you're that good and you never get a jump shot. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand why that's not the only thing he practices all the time. Like, I don't understand how.
In a league where, like, everybody can shoot, you know, every big man can shoot from far.
Even just
mid-range. He spends his whole life being better than everybody.
That's true. Because he played in Australia, right? He played it, in Australia.
Yeah. So you're right. He's got to go see a shrink where it's like his mentality has to change. Like, hey, yes, I can go through this guy, but I don't have to. You know what I mean? I should find another way to get something done. And same problem with like Dwight Howard. He never developed a move. You know what I mean? So he just spent his whole life trying to power through people. You know?
I think Dwight Howard's a different story because at least he led his team to a final. You know what I'm saying? Well, maybe after the Magic, it was downhill from there. But at least Dwight
coaching.
Led his team. Yeah, that's coach. Because I don't remember, and I can't remember that Magic team that went to the finals. Who was like probably their leading scorer? It might have been Dwight. I can't remember. I know they had Jameer Nelson.
Rashard Lewis.
Oh yeah, Rashard, but he was Turkoglu,
87 shooters around him.
That's true. You could kick the ball out and have no problem and being confident.
Double team Dwight, and then if you did, you kick the ball out.
Dwight was too
great coaching.
Dwight was too like his body type is just can't shoot a jump shot. I don't think Ben looks like
yeah, he was ripped. Like his arm, I don't think he could lift up his arms. He was so jacked. I'm not saying because David Robinson was jacked too. You know what I'm saying? But like back then, it wasn't like I think basketball was more position. Like you played your position. Where now I think it's a positionless game. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
so
I think the more jack guys get their chest gets in the way of a jump shot. You know?
Yeah.
I remember when Thaddeus Young put on like 20 pounds because they were going to move from the 3 to the 4. And his free throw went down like 20% just putting on all that extra weight. And he specifically said it was because he has to now change his shot because his body.
Yeah, that upper body strength. Yeah.
yeah.
So Ben Simmons, after he gets drafted, 2017 was because you had the number 1 pick, and then you make the swap, the Boston swap for Markelle Fultz. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And Boston gets Tatum out of that draft, and Fultz was predicted number 1, but I never said talk about that where like, you get the number 1 pick and
we
like,
got tricked.
Man, this even you got duped. Boozled.
The entire country got tricked.
I'm just realizing this now though. Hindsight is 2020. And that's what fucking Jason Tatum should have on the back of his jersey.
Jersey.
Geez, that must feel good for him to just completely destroy us and not get drafted. I don't know. That's another thing. Like Markelle Fultz, like his like, it's funny when people like. You remember his like letter to the city of Philadelphia when he got drafted?
Yep.
It's like that. They should burn that digital letter.
Yeah. Erase it from existence.
The MacBook he typed it on. Man, that was such a frustrating year because I was a huge fan of Dennis Smith Jr., who's toiling away in New York right now. And we had the 3rd pick. I've been watching Dennis Smith Jr. since he was in 8th grade. No creepy shit, right? And I was like, all right. This is like the quintessential point guard we need. He could be a little bigger, like shaped like Markelle Fultz, but this is the point guard we need, right? And then rumbling started happening. Oh, you hear about this kid from UW? Markelle Fultz. And then when you realize the story of why he was even at UW was because Marquise Chris, Deontay Murray were supposed to be there. And he was trying to go.
Oh, wow. So he was trying to go.
Go through. Right. So then when they went off to the league that year, they got drafted. He didn't decommit. He stayed there because the coach, for loyalty to the coach. So the coach just said, all right, we're going to run the entire season through you. So he averaged 25, 10, and like a bunch of steals. But if you watch
his stats are padded.
One game, it's literally him dribbling the ball all day. It's padded stats. So the whole country gets fooled by Markelle Fultz. And then we start ignoring the fact that Jason Tatum has been one of the best players in the country since 8th grade. Who else?
Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball.
Options, I remember.
Lonzo Ball.
I don't believe in Lonzo Ball either. I didn't.
I have hope in Ball.
He's 6'6" point guard. He was just playing against 5'8" high school kids. So he got to UCLA. They ran an offense that worked for him. He looked good enough, and LA could not take him. Like Jason Tatum was the only guy that I was like, definitely take him or Dennis Smith Jr.
Yeah. Oh, thank God you didn't take Dennis because we're stuck with Dennis Smith Jr. now, and it hasn't worked out for us at all. But I have hope in Ball. I think Ball and Zion might be pretty good. I remember going to a game, Knicks versus Lakers, and Ball almost had a triple double that game, and I was impressed by Ball. Not only the passing but the shoot, just shooting and just killing everybody off the dribble, and he caught an alley-oop, and we were all
Noel also put up like 40 on the Knicks one time, so it's like that's a bad barometer.
Yeah. That's that, and
like we've seen the Knicks give up,
Yeah, I guess. So yeah. So now, 2018, the process comes together. You have Simmons, you have Jimmy Butler. They make the trade. They had a stacked team between Butler, Tobias Harris, JJ. Every position looked pretty good. Like they at least had a top 10 player, at each position. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, it was just disappointing. 2018, they lost to Boston in 5 in that second round. Again, that sucked. And then last year, where we talked to previously about the 7-game Toronto and Kawhi's destiny, basically. You know what I'm saying? The basketball gods definitely had other plans after that shot. So,
well, yeah. I mean, also he willed himself to win that game, and I don't think anybody, I mean, it's unfair, I guess, to compare anybody to Kawhi.
yeah.
It's not like game right now, but like, what a nightmare that game was. Like, I that whole series, like, that's why this year at least, like, they didn't even get your hopes up. Like, I remember
You know what to expect.
Like last playoffs, like I was like physically ill every game because I knew we could do it, and I knew we were so close. And like deep down, I also knew that we were gonna fucking blow it, and that's what we did. And we fucking made every wrong decision after that. And now I can't believe Embiid.
It's stupid, isn't it?
I love Embiid so much. Embiid's my favorite.
Everybody, yeah.
But he's like a Twitter troll at this point. Of like, he talks.
He's great on Twitter. He's great on Twitter.
And I know he played like good this season by the point, but like he needed to play better. And like for that question last night when they were like, "What's the problem?" and he was like, "There is no problem." It's like, are you fucking nuts? You got swept first round of the playoffs.
Not even winning the game.
I bet he's got an opinion, but he's got to say there's no problem. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but clearly, I don't know. I disagree with that. It's like what Charles said about back when he was playing with Moses Malone. You're fat and out of shape. Nobody tells Embiid what he needs to hear.
He's fat and out of shape. Yeah. I just read an article about Brett Brown. He's a pacifist. He's the type of guy that like won't tell Ben Simmons to shoot a jump shot. So it's like when your coach is kind of a pussy, you kind of it seems like he's almost protecting his coach's feelings. He doesn't want to say like, "Hey, this coach sucks and nobody's getting me the ball in a good position." Like I saw a stat that said he had like 8 touches on the ball inside the paint the whole series. He caught the ball 153 times, received a pass. 8 of those were in the paint. That's coaching. That's coaching not being able to discipline his guards to say, "Stop fucking dribbling, bounce pass into the lane, and go from there." Like they run a whole offense through Jokic in Denver. It's possible. You know what I mean? But our coaches can't get his team to align.
Anytime we play the Celtics, it's just it's clear that their coaching is better too.
Brad Stevens is a genius, man.
And like, he's obviously like, I assume that he just cleaned out whatever closet he had yesterday. Like, there's no way that he's staying. It's obvious, obviously, but like, I mean, like, there's never been a more obvious like decision that this guy's got to go. He should have got fired last year.
Brett Brown, right?
Yeah,
definitely. He's gone. Yeah, he's gone.
I've been screaming Brett Brown needs to get fired for like 3-4 years already.
Yeah, sure. But now it's like beyond obvious.
Yeah, the writing's on the wall. Yeah.
But this series was so like, they just didn't even like that one game. I think it was game 2. Like they didn't even play defense. Like it's like, I don't think I've ever been more ashamed of a team than right now. They're just like, they're like embarrassing. It was embarrassing that game. Like at least
they didn't show up. At least show up. They didn't show up. Yeah.
I mean, like, and like if there was fans there, like maybe
they get crucified.
They would have got booed out of there. Like in that second game, like they just didn't shoot well the whole series, and that's if you're gonna play bad, you're gonna play bad. But that's just like lack of like even trying was gross.
Yeah, and probably because of the bubble, because of the break, with the COVID, who was doing what in the off season, and I mean during that time
Our
that the
team
break,
looks uninspired. They looked uninspired.
That's a great way to put it. Yep.
And I point that always to coaching, because you know what I mean. Like you can get guys to play basketball, but can you get guys to want to win? You know what I mean? Like if your coach isn't fiery in a way that's productive, like you're just not gonna play. There's no real incentive. And
good coaching
I was
wins.
saying Ben is so chill. Yeah,
He is.
Yeah.
It's also like they just don't like. A coach should do that, but it separates good players from great players. Like great players want to win no matter what.
Yep.
And I don't see that shit from Embiid really at all. He's a good player.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that Toronto shot where Kawhi hit the shot, right? I like to watch that last defensive possession, right? Because if you notice, Ben Simmons was on him, right? And then in a way, it almost looked like Joel communicated, like, I don't trust you to keep it. So he took over. There's like a passing of the player that didn't need to happen, and a better hand would have been up if they didn't do that switch. You know what I mean? So it's like even that discipline, that lack of discipline, that gets created in practice. That gets created by you having confidence in your team and your teammates. You know what I mean? Like Ben can carry him, and he could have. He was in position to get a good hand up, and that's what I mean. Like
didn't
it's
happen.
discipline and
Shit.
yeah.
And Ben's like defensive player of the year. He's like one of the best defensive players there is.
It's like you literally cut him off. You cut him off to go defend, and it's like great, but you gotta trust him and say back. He's 16.
I'm basically just resigned to the fact that we're probably going to get rid of one of them. They're going to
it's going to happen. Yeah,
they're going to win a championship with another team.
Yep.
That's what's going to happen. I mean, like, yeah. I mean,
who
would you want to keep though? Who would you want to keep though?
I've thought about this a lot already.
I've thought about it too, but to be honest with you, I don't even know anymore. I'm not even sure. Like, I wish we could just keep them and blow the rest of the fucking team up. And I know that's probably
2-on-5 for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And then one of them is just going to get hurt again right before the playoffs because that's what they do. Position. We're never.
Yeah.
It's going to be really hard for us to be as good as we were last year. Anytime.
Yeah. That's true.
I really don't know what to do. And like my solution used to be like we need to go get Paul George or Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
And
nobody wants Paul George now.
Nobody wants Paul George now.
Yeah.
Bradley Beal.
Pandemic P. Yeah.
Who knows if that'll work out? You know.
Yeah.
It's. I think we get rid of Embiid. If either of them go, I think the coach should go and we should give a front office a chance to build a better team, a better coach, yada yada, and give it one more year. But if they don't feel like doing that, Embiid's got to go because it's the only way you're going to get a package that's reasonable. And Ben really can play 4 out of the 5 positions. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like
Embiid, it's such a natural talent. Yeah, it's crazy.
You got to get rid of the whole front office.
You had Noel. Yeah, 100%. Elton Brand is. I don't know if it's his fault, but I'm blaming him. You know what I mean?
Maybe the inexperience, because as soon as he retired, he started. They put him in the front office.
Yeah,
and forgive me, but we went through this whole thing without ever mentioning Sam Hinkie, and forgive me for that. We should have given him at least 40 minutes of praise, thank you, and sent him a prostitute.
Yeah, I thought
Sam Hinkie started something beautiful. And let Colangelo and let the NBA, Stern, all of them really fuck it up. You know what I mean? Like when this really started, I was like, okay, I fucks with this because in 2012 we were a 7-8 seed. That's where we were gonna be the rest of our life. But we had to blow that to be shitty. I was on board, my dude. Like I was on board. And then right when it started to make the turn, where it's like, all right, well now we're getting some fruits back. They're like, no. Let's change the GM. Let's fire this guy. Let's bring in Raul.
It's doing too much. Yeah.
A bunch of 6'3" guards. Nobody knows. And like now we have this clusterfuck of a team. And I fully believe had we spared Sam Hinkie's life, we would be in a much different position because we would at least have his plan fully done versus his plan and somebody else is playing bastardizing it. You know?
Yeah. So, all
Twitter's
right, guys.
the man.
Yeah.
I
So
miss
now
that.
we're up to speed, man. Yeah, and so yeah, that's life of a fan of a Sixers fan, man. Thank you very much for joining me, man. I appreciate you guys. Courtney, you got anything you want to plug before we go?
Yeah, I'm real sweaty right now. Smoke break. Smoke break comedy's coming back. Probably the Brooklyn outdoors where we smoke weed and throw
Nice.
dopes. So look out for that. Follow me at Full Court Comedy and all of the above. Twitter,
Dope.
Instagram, and such.
Dope. Thanks, man. Tom, anything you want to plug, my man?
You check out my comedy album, Funny-matic, wherever you get albums and shit.
Nice.
And
Real quick, what do you think about the new Nas album? Since your album is inspired by
classic. I think it's great.
Like it? I got to get used to it. I said I got smoked for saying it was Jordan on the Wizards good. So everybody is like just giving me shit about it.
Now
But,
I listened to it a good amount, and I was like in a car with it and stuff because I took a trip this week. I think it's
nice.
I think it's one of his best albums in a long time.
Nice. I'm really trying to like it, but like it's solid.
To be honest with you, it gave me goosebumps a few times. Like
Nice.
Car 85, 27 Summers. Both of those songs are great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like 27 Summers. That's the only one I've heard.
I like the one with the Anderson .Paak. The one with Anderson .Paak is good. I'm just trying to get used to it though.
Yeah, no, I like it. And follow me on Cassidy Comedy on Twitter and Instagram.
Dope. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate you, man. Hope to see you soon and chill and talk shit about sports again, man.
Yeah,
all right, you guys be safe, man. Thank you.
That's what.
See you guys.
All right. All right, that was Tom Cassidy and Courtney Reynolds. Follow them on their social medias and check them out. And thank you for watching again. Till next time, next week, I'll have another guest and we're going to cover something really, really cool. Thank you again for joining us. My name is Johnny McDonald. Follow us at Root for Laundry on IG and Twitter and watch the show on our YouTube and Facebook page. Thank you again. Have a good one.